Hey, church, this is Vince Miller. Thank you so much for joining me for another devotional. Now, today we're back in the Gospel of John. I found my scripture journal, not to worry. It was packed away in my backpack. I don't know why I didn't look there. And by the way, you need one of these as we study the Bible together. It's got the text on one side, blank space on the other. You can get them from our website. It's a great way to support our ministry here. And I really, truly believe taking notes and journaling as you read the Bible is a very effective way to spur spiritual growth in your life. And that's what we do here. We just read through the Bible a few verses at a time, making application and making it very practical for men to live that out in their daily life. And by the way, right now, I'm actually in Oregon at Men's Roundup with a couple of thousand guys, sharing the stage with worship leader Mac Brock. And so you're going to notice today I dropped in some of his worship songs for you to worship along with us as the church. So I hope you'll take the time to do that today. Well, with that, we're going to be back in John chapter 16. I'm going to read verses 29 through 32. Remember, these are the last moments of Jesus' life with his disciples. He's with the 11. Judas has gone to betray him. Jesus is now speaking exclusively to his guys. He has spoken in some plain language for them, and they think they've got it. So here's how they respond to Jesus. His disciples said, now you're speaking plainly and not using figurative speech. Now we know that you know all things and do not need anyone to question you. This is why we believe that you came from God. Now, this little statement from the disciples here makes it very clear that while you think you can pull one over on Jesus, you can't, because he knows how to evaluate our human believing. He knows exactly where we stand, and he knows that these guys don't fully believe, even though they say they do. Because by comparing these statements by the disciples with their future actions, we can see two things about them. First, they did not have full knowledge and understanding of all things that Jesus was saying, as they are proclaiming they do in this text. And number two, even though they could make sound theological affirmations, they still needed to fully align their lives with those affirmations. And we will see they will not. Now, I believe it is essential for us to seriously evaluate our human believing, because we cannot and will not ever pull one over on Jesus, ever, ever, ever. So here are two questions taken from this text that might be good for you to use for self-evaluation today in your believing. Number one, do you know what you proclaim you know, or are you just saying that you do? And number two, do you act according to what you proclaim to believe? Two very simple questions that we need to evaluate about our believing. If you answer either one of these in the negative, then make adjustments by doing this simple thing. First, read scripture and test what you know against God's truth. And then number two, second, act on what the scripture says to do. It's that simple. When you do these two things, you will continually deepen your believing, and you will pass the test when the time and the trials come. I love you guys. Make sure to listen to that worship song below by Mac. It's incredible. And I'll see you right back here again tomorrow.